Over to you, Lord
Well,
Blunkett.
thank you very much indeed, Joan. And again, your tenacity and willingness to never say you're going to give up has been really quite instrumental. Forgive the voice, I've got a chest infection, but it's not stopping me. Richard and I served on a committee 7 years ago which produced a report called The Ties That Bind, and it was about citizenship and civic engagement. And we hunted together, didn't we, Richard?
We did.
You remember we did a visit as a select committee, which is quite difficult from this place, but we went to my city of Sheffield and we visited a school in the most deprived area, and what they were doing with the children of vastly numbers from different parts of the world, something like 12 or different nationalities at primary level, was to look at history, and they looked at the Second World War and how the area had been affected, and rooted the understanding of the youngsters from wherever their parents originated in the city, in the locality, in the history that was theirs around them, just as it was for any other child who of course hadn't been there but was learning about it. And that was quite instrumental, and it made an impact on me even after all these years of campaigning. I'm really strongly in favour of both PSHE and citizenship, but I'm also obsessed with history. It was the teaching of history that was one of the two pillars that got me into politics and to being a social democrat. I had a teacher who was actually a bit of a communist, let it be known, who enthused me with the fact that we only stood where we are today because of the campaigning, the zeal and the sacrifice of people who came before. So I pocketed that and decided I wasn't a communist. I was too much of a Methodist to be a communist. And the other thing that affected me was the death of my father in a works accident when I was 12, and how my grandfather was treated in what can only be described as a workhouse. And then, that said, things can be done. And I think that the project, I shall shut up in a minute because the young people are the only things that matter here, it was this. People keep on saying that it's no good, you can't make a difference, nobody's listening, you as an individual can't do it, and yet you can. Individuals obviously working collectively can achieve a lot more than individuals alone, but the individual voice, the unwillingness to give up, the desire to bring about and make a change. It's writ large with Churchill. Churchill, as we all are, by the way, not Richard because he was a bishop, but those of us in politics, we're a mixed bag really. We're good, bad and indifferent. And Churchill was good, bad and extremely good. And, you know, looking at his life, you can see how that played out. But there was an example of an individual working within and using the political system and being there at the right time, the right person in the right place at the right time. But as my wife keeps telling me when we go to see Sheffield Wednesday, you won't score a goal unless you get into the penalty area. So there are all kinds of lessons that we can learn. And I have to say as well that I do have connections with Ukraine. It's a long time since I've been there. We had a twinning arrangement from Sheffield with Donetsk. Of course, it's now occupied by the Russians. What I learned was that the Soviet Union could not suppress the culture of the people. They were really honest with us within quite difficult surroundings because it was the Soviet Union at the time. But they were very brave and talked about retaining and reinforcing their culture and allowing it therefore to re-emerge when Ukraine became an independent sovereign nation. So enough from me. Really congratulations as well, not just to the young people who are getting the acknowledgements this evening, but also to all the staff who have been working with them and committed to it. If we get this right for the future, we can have a generation that aren't turned on by Tate and his brother, that actually understand how to disseminate truth and how to distinguish from hate and misogyny. And it is sometimes, Anita, quite hard. You found it hard. I found it hard when I was talking about this over 20 years ago. People label you and turn on you. The message to the young people is, believe in yourself. If you feel something's right, go for it. Don't be put out by others who tell you that you've got the wrong idea. It may well be that they have. Groupthink is the worst possible thing. So let's be collective individuals who can really make a difference in the world. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you.